Hello, everybody. I'm going to read another book in our text set about friendship, and this book is called The Dunderheads. Now, if we keep in mind, we've already read two books about friendship and how it makes a big difference, the way we treat people. So let's get into this book. This is a little bit different, and see, it's a little bit long, but we will get through it. So it's got some nice bright pictures. The Dunderheads, and I will start just by reading you a little summary. Mrs. Breakbone is an evil teacher. Each of her students, who she calls Dunderheads, has a unique talent. One day, she confiscates a cat statue from a student known as Junkyard, who was planning to give the cat to his mother as a gift. The Dunderheads team up and use their talents to retrieve the cat and outwit their teacher. So as I'm reading today, I want you to keep in mind the message of the book, because that's something we've been working on in class. So here we go. "Never," shrieked Mrs. Breakbone, "have I been asked to teach such a scrapping together, fiddling, twiddling, time squandering, mind wandering, doodle dozing, don't knowing Dunderheads. Ugh, how'd you like to have a teacher like her?" That was her first mistake. The insult. Mistake number 2. No eye for talent. An easy mistake to make in our case. So let's take a minute. This kind of has the feeling of a graphic novel a little bit too, doesn't it? How it has the pictures in different boxes. Mrs. Breakbone hated kids. Every time she made a student cry, she gave herself a gold star. Confiscating was her specialty. Rumor had it, she'd bought an electric chair from selling all the stuff she'd taken away. Then, one Friday, she went too far. "Theodore, bring that magnifying glass up here this instant." She kind of reminds me of the teacher from Matilda. Has anyone ever watched that movie or read that book? Mrs. Trenchbull, she was a mean teacher too. Didn't know that everyone called him Junkyard. He was always digging stuff out of trash cans, like the one-eared cat he'd found when we'd walked to school that morning. Should have seen his face lit up. His mother was a maniac for cat stuff, and he needed a present for her birthday that Sunday. He was set. "And that cat," snapped Mrs. Breakbone. "Mistake number 3, the outrage." There she is again. Junkyard put them both on her desk, and then he began crying right in front of the girls. Mrs. Breakbone gave herself a gold star. "But they're mine," he said. "Not anymore," she snapped. She'd studied the cat's green eyes with interest. "And don't even think about getting them back." Mistake number 4, the dare. She locked them in her drawer and smiled. Junkyard looked my way, begging me. I knew what he wanted. Everyone called me Einstein because I was a whiz at solving problems. But something told me that this would be tougher than anything I'd ever tackled. I thought it was over. Then I nodded. I'd show her what a few dunderheads could do. At recess, they were all around me. "It's impossible. She keeps the key on her belt. Then she takes the stuff home. We don't even know where she lives. She reads Guard Dog Lovers monthly. I was going to need help. Lots of help. At lunch, I talked to Wheels. He's kind of a bicycle nut. He'd put 48 extra gears on his bike this summer. He didn't have any problem after school keeping up with Breakbone's car. He gave me her address. This place is like a castle. You'll never get in. That's what she thinks, I said. I need more info. Then I remembered Pencil. So they have all kinds of fun nicknames for all their friends. She sees something once, she can draw it from her memory. I sent her out to Miss Breakbone's house. She did the outside first. For the inside, she threw a paper airplane over the wall. Breakbone's maid let her through most of the ground floor to the backyard. The drawing hit my desk before dinner. By bedtime, I had worked it out. On Saturday morning, I left the house early. It was time to put the team together. My first stop was Spiders. The best way to find him is to look up. I guess it's something he got from his family. Can you help me out on a little project tonight? What kind of project? The kind that could be hazardous to your health. Excellent, he said. What time? So are you noticing that each student's nickname has to do with something they're good at? Pencil, spider, junkyard. I walked around the block to Hollywood's. She got every movie that was ever made and has watched them all 11 times. I had a feeling she'd come in handy. Are you busy tonight? It's Saturday, of course, I'm busy. I'm going to the movies. What do you think? Then I'm coming home, and first I'm gonna watch. It took some doing, but I talked her into it. I wonder what she's gonna watch. Spitball was a little tougher. He could spit farther than anyone in the school until a new kid had moved to town last spring and beaten him by 1 3/8 inches. He was still shaken up. I don't know, he moaned. What good would I be? Plenty, I said. I've got a slot just for you. I signed him up. Likewise, the rest of the crew. So it sounds like they're coming up with a big elaborate plan to get what they want back. Wheels picked us up at 8 sharp. When we got there, we were in luck. Bad luck. Breakbone was having a party. We'll get caught for sure. Let's try tomorrow. Junkyard needs that cat tomorrow, I said. We're going in tonight. I turned to Spider. See if anyone's in the backyard. There was an elm tree on one side of the house. Spider shot up it like an elevator. All clear, he called down. I nodded to Clips. His reading scores were low. His math scores were worse. But if they tested for paperclip chains, Just like you asked for, he opened his briefcase. 2 8-strand 10-footers, fisherman's weave with grappling hooks. We were on the other side in a flash. It was pitch black. No one could see except Hollywood. She'd spent so much time in theaters that she had perfect night vision. I put her up front. Suddenly she stopped. Something's going to happen, she said. I can just tell. Something's scary. This isn't a movie, I said. It's That's when 4 guard dogs charged toward us. Pencil had told me all about them. I looked back at Junkyard. Now! He whipped out pork ribs he'd found in the trash and threw one to each dog. They'd stopped where they were and started gnawing. That's when Google Eyes went to work. The year before, she found a book on hypnosis in the school library. On her way out, she'd put the librarian in a 2-week trance. Over the summer, she'd done a lot of experimenting on her younger brother. The dogs dropped like marionettes. We slipped into the garage. Over here, said Clips, and there they were, in a box marked cell. The phones, the pocket knives, the radios, and everything else Breakbone had taken that year. Everything, that is, except the one-eared cat. Maybe it's worth something, said Junkyard. I already had the same thought. My guess is she put it in a safe. We'll need to go in. If only we knew what room the master bedroom, said Hollywood. Obviously. She was annoying, but she gave good advice. I studied Pencil's plan. 2nd floor. We crept out. Suddenly, the motion lights hit us. I saw a Breakbone in the kitchen. Spitball now! Give it everything you've got. He popped a piece of bread in his mouth, gave it a chew, took a huge breath, and spit it toward the house. It shot through the night air and stuck square on the sensor, keeping it from picking up our movement. It was the greatest feat of spitting ever seen. Nice work, I said. The lights went out. The house is full of people, said Junkyard. How do we get in? Okay, so now it's building. Here we go. Anyone want to stop for a minute and think about who do you think's in there? I nodded to Clips. He joined his 2 chains into one. Spider went up the drain pipe like malt up a straw, then hooked the chain to a 2nd floor balcony. A minute later, we were inside the castle's walls in the bedroom with sheets on the furniture. Must be a guest room, said Clips. Where's the master bedroom? The plans only covered the ground floor, but I'd studied the pattern of windows and had a rough idea of the layout. This way, I said. I opened a door, and there was a party right below us. We had to crawl to keep from being seen. Hollywood tugged at my pants. Getting this bad feeling, like something's... I looked around. A maid was coming up the stairs straight toward us. Spitball saw her too. He gathered his saliva and took aim at the empty glass down below. Direct hit. It fell on the floor and shattered. Josephine! Breakbone shouted, clean this up first. The maid turned around. It wouldn't take long to clean up the glass. We'd have to be fast. He crawled down the hall into a room, the master bedroom. The safe's always behind a painting, said Hollywood. I lifted the only painting off the wall. No safe. This movie's weird, she said. The maid will be back any second, I said. Everybody look. Clip only thinks about paper clips. We saw one floorboard. We saw one on the floorboard. He saw one on the floorboard, bent down to get it, bumped his head on the wall. And suddenly, that section of the wall turned around, and there before us was a bolted down strongbox. Cool, he said. Ooh, there's only a couple pages left, and I feel like there should be more. The box was locked. It was Nail's turn to shine. He'd spent a lot of time on his fingernails, filing them into different shapes: saw blades, screwdrivers, letter openers, and keys. Unfortunately, none of them fit the lock. Fortunately, he keeps one long and untouched, just for special occasions. With his clipper and file, he turned it into a custom key. The box opened, and there was the cat. "Back to your owner," I said. I tossed it to Junkyard and dropped a little something in its place. "Now let's scram!" Then the bedroom door opened, and there stood the maid. She was so frightened, no words came out of her mouth. No words came out when she screamed. Instantly, Spider pulled her in and shut the door. Google Eyes jumped on the bed and put her face in front of the maid's and gave her the express trance. 5 seconds later, the maid fell straight back. "Let's go," I said. When we went out the way we came in, Wheels was outside waiting. Junkyard's smile told him the mission had been a success. On Sunday, Junkyard's mom got the one-eared cat. Those strange green eyes turned out to be emeralds, worth a lot of money. She gave Junkyard a big gift certificate to an ice cream shop by way of thanks. He invited me along. "There's just one thing I was wondering," he said. "What was it you put in Breakbone's box?" "Just a little letter to our teacher," I replied. The Dunderheads were here. That is the end of our story.